is tea. It is a Friday morning. It is December. Getting close to Christmas. Merry Christmas, blessed Yule, happy Hanukkah, and happy holidays to everybody. Please enjoy. I keep having encounters with young Earth creationists who insist that being an atheist means that I have to be a bad person. I wish these people could come up with a clear example of how I am a bad person instead of just making these awful insinuations. I mean, it really sounds like they're just making crap up, which they are. They're making crap up. Unfortunately, they keep making the same crap up. And while they tend to be rather more vague than they used to be, I mean, even 10 years ago, there were direct, specific accusations of all sorts of nonsense, whereas now it's all vague and cryptic, dropping little hints, rambling about a vague concept called sin, which doesn't really mean anything to me, and trying to scare me by insinuating that this God character of theirs is watching me. I hope that this God character enjoys being bored to tears because I live a very comfortably boring life, and I'm quite happy with that. Honestly, it's not an exciting life, but it's mine and I like it the way it is, comfortably boring and ordinary. And one of the things that I'm noticing about these creationists is they imagine me to have a much more exciting life than the one that I actually have. It's like they're trying to live vicariously through me by attributing to me all the things that they wish they could do. And honestly, I think that's really what it boils down to. They want to do things, they're afraid to do them, and so they accuse me of doing them. It's rather an interesting conundrum. They've created a whole complex, convoluted fantasy about me that has nothing to do with me and everything to do with them. We're not really talking about me. They're not talking about me at all. They're talking about themselves. And it was like this when they were making the very specific accusations, and it's the same now that they're making the vague and cryptic insinuations. They're not talking about me. They're talking about themselves. They're talking about what they wish they could do. And so they attribute it all to me. Well, I'm sorry, my life is just not that interesting. It's a pretty boring life and a pretty comfortably boring life, and I rather like it that way. So when these religious fundamentalists claim that I have this incredibly exciting life with this incredibly elaborate sex life and all these exciting adventures, they're not talking about me. They're talking about themselves as they wish they could be. And that's the thing that I've noticed. They're talking about themselves. I have a comfortably boring life where I work on sewing projects and I do wildlife photography and I go for walks in the woods. And in the summertime I go sailing. And that's the sum total of my life. It's pretty boring when you think about it. So all these exciting things the creationists attribute to me, that's not me. That's them as they wish they could be. And all the grotesque and, quite honestly, horrible things that they insist are a normal part of my day-to-day life. That's not about me again. It's about the things they wish they could do. It's about the things they want to do. It's about their fantasies. Their fantasies. It has nothing to do with me. Creationists and religious fundamentalists, they don't talk about me when they talk about me. They talk about themselves when they talk about me. They're just using me as a vehicle through which to drive their own fantasies. And quite honestly, it's pretty messed up shit. Some of these people honestly need to be put on a watch list, because without their God to control them, they'd be terrible people. They'd be dangerous people. They would be devastatingly damaging to the community. If it weren't for their God, they would be doing all kinds of horrifying things. According to their own words, they would be out there committing all manner of atrocities and evil. And they say that the fact that they restrain themselves through fear of their God makes them moral. Well, I don't need to restrain myself from doing these things because I just don't want to do them. I have no interest in doing them. And I don't need the fear of a God to make me moral. I just need to wake up in the morning. That's my innate character trait coming through, basic human decency. A characteristic which they insist does not and cannot exist, because it doesn't exist in them. And so they assume that it can't possibly exist in anybody else. And that's just the way these people are. Morning tea. Gonna have another cup. Take care. Be well. Love you all. Happy holidays.